Facebook right now, and I see one of your old photos here on the West Australian Paranormal Researchers in the Shadow Files podcast group.
Yes, you will see. Like I said, you will see plenty of photos. Hang on, let's see what's going on with the channel. Is it? Yes, we are live. How is it?
Oh, are we?
Whenever we do a live recording, yeah, there you go. It's come up on my phone. All
Yep,
right,
yep.
so
I
let's
just got it too.
click on that and turn this down so we don't get feedback. So we've done that. Now I've got to pop this chat out and remember if I can get the chat working. Pop out chat.
It's just like us to be going live and
Totally
fixing what we got to
disorganized.
fix.
Okay.
But it's all good. I mean, a lot of our best stuff comes in between chats. I got a friend request from Kimberly Williamson from the Soul Sisters.
There you go. She
Uh,
is awesome. Hang on.
but Gary, I have to ask.
You
I
have
have to ask this picture from the old WAPA photos. It looks like you're in a stairway going down. Are you in the attic?
no, no. That
So
that
that
was that was a secret hatch that had never been opened in many years, and we were able to get it open. And nobody else was going to go down
what?
there because it was black. So I went down there, not knowing what to expect. Because if you heard some of the history about that place, because it ended up being a place where women went for babies that often didn't survive. So I can't remember how
Mm.
to get the chat going. That's how long it's been since we've done a live stream.
Yeah,
Oh,
man. As long as we keep it moving while you figure things out,
you
I
just
think it's all good.
keep on talking. Yeah. And of course, it doesn't help that I can't see anything because everything's behind my
My
camera.
my name is Fernando.
Oh,
Strangers minds.
he's putting on his
My
funny
mama
American.
said not to trust a woman.
God, it's going to be one of those nights, isn't it? It is really going to be one of those nights.
Hey, I mean, for me, it's 8 o'clock in the morning right now, and here it is surprisingly pretty brisk here in Florida. So, but in our conversation last night with the in the chat group with the Soul Sisters, he was like, "Yeah, it's like 110." The Soul Sisters, they're in the freezer right now.
I can
They're
Oh
literally in
God,
the freezer right now.
I cannot believe that I cannot find. I can see the chat. Let me just. It's usually really easy and really quick to set up. Let's go
Hmm.
properties. I think I know. All right. Starting to get. No, 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 no. All right, so it's not that one then. Whoops. You keep talking. You keep talking. I mean, we've got to.
No, I'm actually waiting for you to send me the link so I could put in the WAPA page and the shadow file page
Well, if you go to
and
our
all the
shadow
other groups.
files, if you go to our shadow files
I mean,
channel,
enough said. Enough said.
if you go there, you will find it there, and then you can copy it from there.
enough said. I got you. But usually you'll send it out. That's how I was waiting for that.
I can see stuff starting in
Um,
the chat. I will address those questions once I can get the chat working in the podcast. Where are we? So you keep talking. Just do your
no,
thing.
I got you. Now I'm trying to
All right, I'm gonna have to change the way
do
I'm
the whole
doing this.
concentrating thing.
What I don't
but
understand is that there was a window here for that, and the window has disappeared. Oh,
hmm.
hang on. Does it need to go? I think does it have to go up to here? Let's try that, and then properties.
God damn. Where in
YouTube
the
live
world?
chat. That's the one I'm looking for.
Uh, yeah. As much as I love,
I have found it.
socializing with everyone within the paranormal field in different groups, but it's kind of hard to find one group. It's like a needle in a haystack. God damn! What? Why is it all the way down here?
What's that?
Wait, I, the WAPA page.
I
Where?
don't know what you're looking at.
No, I'm in the, going through the list of the groups that I'm affiliated in. God damn, all the way down here. Jeez.
No, that's it.
That
That's it. Oh,
it
I've got
should
all sorts of binging
be.
and bonging happening on my computer. If I lock that away there. Oh, hang on. No,
All right.
unlock. Let's bring this one down. And then we are good and we do not need to worry anymore. We can just get into it. So let's have a look. Lock that off. I've lost the chat completely. Oh, there it is there. I'm good. All right, so we have MJ. Hey, MJ, how are you? The name of the old hospital is the old Ed Milne Hospital in Victoria Park. So it is surrounded by a electric fence, which has many amusing stories about that straight away, because you know what guys are like. How much zap does an electric fence actually have? So we gave it a go. And you know that old thing that you see where if you pee on an electric fence, does it go back up? You know, the charge, does it go back up the stream? Yes.
Man, Gary.
It wasn't
Yes, it
me. It wasn't
does.
me. It was somebody else that was stupid enough to try that. I wasn't that stupid. So,
No, I mean, obviously, I'm a survivor from the New York subway stations. There are
yeah.
people that will pee on the third rail just to test out that theory. And yeah.
Oh, that
That's
could be scary. All right, we have MJ. Well, there's two people that are watching. I don't know who the other person is because they're not in the chat room. But have you got anything that you want us to talk about? This one is a totally unplanned kind of uh, live stream. We just thought new to the year, we'll crank it up and we'll see where we go. As you can see, Jeremy had a little accident at work and he's not going to be in tonight, but he will be back next week. So, hey, Jeremy, wherever
feel
you.
better, buddy.
Yep.
See you soon.
Yeah. So yeah, that photo from the hatch, that was at the Ed Milne Hospital. Now, it's got a lot of history to it. So if you want to look it up, you can look it up, obviously. And I was able to gain access to the place for the team. So not just the old building, but the newer part as well. Yes, that's the one in Vic Park. And there's a old, like a crematorium thing at the back. And there's several buildings there, all within the electric fence. And we were told that we were allowed in, and then at 7:00 they were locking the gate and they were putting the electric fence on, and we were there until I think it was 6 or 7:00 the next morning. So we had access to the new part of the hospital, which is next door to the old part, which is still that was active in the 60s up until I think the 80s or something like that. And yeah, there's some awesome stuff happened there. You know, we got some good stuff. The reporters came in and did a story on us as well. So we we had a good night. We had a good night.
I mean, I'm very interested to know that if anything happened, what are your feels like, your experience when you opened that hatch to go down an area nobody has been in God knows how many years.
Well, here's the thing, right? I had to go through. I had to go and meet the guy from the Victoria Park Council on a lunchtime when I was at work because he wanted to take me for a. Well, he wanted to meet me first, and then have a chat in the offices. Then he wanted to take me out to the location and do a walkthrough so he could show me parts that are very unsafe. And he said, you know, are you going to be able to deal with all of that? So I said, yeah, we can deal with that, all right. And it was enough for him to be happy enough to say, give the go ahead for us to go in for the whole night. And to give you an idea, there is a old wrought iron spiral staircase in there as well. And it is as creepy as. It's brilliant.
Oh man. But yeah. So this place you was in, because it if it's a stairway, what was it, going down to a basement? Because it
Oh no
wasn't
no 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 no
it.
no no! This was separate. I'll get to that. Hang on, get to that in a minute. I've just seen what MJ's put. Yes, can you send me a private message with details, and I'll get in touch with this guy and see if we can't set up something to do one of these paranormal investigations. Just see how we go, because we'll have to do a couple of test nights first to see how it runs, and I'm sure MJ can come along with us if we want to. So, but yeah, getting back to the Ed Milne building, when you walk in, there's this giant Gothic staircase that goes straight up the middle and then around the sides. Right, it's awesome. Now around the back of that and underneath that, there had been a lot of stuff that was set up permanently there, but when it got moved, there was a trapdoor. But they said they weren't going to go down there because some of the
Like
stories,
trapdoors.
one of the stories that was right rampant, because one of the things it went to was, after it was like a mainstream hospital, it went to women that had babies illegitimately. And not all of those survived, and they were crapping themselves that if they went down there, they were going to find a whole load of half-formed babies in glass jars and things like that. So
No.
no, there
Wait.
weren't. There was none down there, but they were worried that they were going to go down there and find that. Now, funny you should say that, because one of the most haunted buildings here in Western Australia is the old Fremantle Arts Centre. Now, that's been a psychiatric hospital. It's been a this. It's been a that. And what happened was, it was probably 10, 15 years ago now. They broke into a roof part that they'd never been into before, and it was like a mad scientist's lair. They had the jars with fetuses, malformed fetuses, and this, that, and the other, and it was hushed up real quick, but not before it got out and stuff, you know. So there's a lot of people that do know about that. But we've always wanted to investigate that place, and because it's an active arts centre, they won't allow people in. But we were able to sweet talk them into letting us set our gear up one night and just leave it running throughout the night, and then go and pick it up the next morning. Now, I can't, not allowed to divulge everything, obviously, because it's still a business that's still going at the moment. But we've got some killer EVPs and bits and pieces from that. So it was a brilliant
Oh
night.
man.
Well, we took our time setting everything up, because obviously, if you haven't got long in there, so we stretched it. Oh no, we've got to get the cameras set up. We've got to get the voice recorder set up. We have to have the cameras set up so we have an EMF meter next to it, and this, that, and the other. So, oh bugger it! There's an old cell down there, and we set it up, and we had an EVP in there. An EVP recorder, voice recorder. We had a K2 meter, and we had a camera going in there all night. And we, as we were walking out, we've got a female's voice going, "Get out."
Mm.
Class A EVP. I don't know EVP, or I don't know whether it's EVP or whether it was a disembodied voice, because there was nobody in the room, so we can't tell if it was heard audibly or whether it was just picked up on the gear. But it was definitely picked up, and I do have that somewhere. I do have it somewhere. I've just got to go through all my stuff, and we picked up a few anomalies on the staircase there, which apparently it's very well known that the staircase is pretty haunted there. So we did focus a lot of gear on that, probably more than what we should have. We should have spread it out a bit further, but I'm hoping one day that we can get in there and do another investigation.
I mean, I've long said that I think we should try and do an episode. I mean, granted, there's going to be a lot of editing going on, but I think we should share our findings with our audience as far as EVPs, pictures, if videos. I mean, my thing, like I said earlier, is my thing is EVPs. There's just something
Mm,
about hearing how an entity sounds like, because through hearing you could tell if it's female, male, child, old person. It's exciting, and then especially knowing that you're hearing somebody that shouldn't even be
be
there
there.
because
Yeah.
you're there by yourself, or if you're there with another dude and you hear like a female. I mean, that's
That,
happened to me and my son plenty of times, and it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
it is. It is. In the chat, Emma's gone. Did I do a? No, we didn't do a show on it, unfortunately, because due to confidentiality and stuff. I mean, it's been a long time now, so I'm sort of saying it now. But back then, no, we didn't air anything. We did have a lot of footage. I've got so much footage from the old days, which one day I might be able to release. But we I'm going to get myself in trouble if I actually name a place, but I'm not going to. So I'm not going to name this place, but we were able to, let's just say, acquire access without force. We were able to acquire access to a very notorious location here in Western Australia on several occasions, and the amount of evidence that we got there is absolutely beyond a joke. And so what we did then, we spent 18 months trying to get legitimate access. Yeah.
So was this an abandoned place, or was it it's just kind of funny how you said that.
Yes, it is
We didn't force ourselves in.
it is abandoned. It did have a fence around it, which wasn't the best fence. And there have been a couple of other
I love
times.
those places.
There have been a couple of other times when we've gone there. In fact, I've got photos of it, but there has been, and I've got videos from inside there. There have been another time that we got there and we were walking around the edge, and because we're all sort of old farts, we were talking about how much we'd love to get in, and we were looking at these signs that said guard dog patrols, and I said, well, we can't see any dogs, but blah, 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 blah. But we were talking about a lot of the stuff that we would love to investigate and do in there. And then I noticed some eye shine coming from a bush on the other side of the fence, about dog level. And I went, oh, crap, there is a dog there. And then maybe 2 or 3 minutes later, the guard dog handler came out as well. And he
well,
actually
definitely can't feed.
came up to us and he actually said that, look, when I see the young people come in here who've been watching the ghost hunting shows, he goes, I'll let the dog scare them off and they won't come back. He said, you guys look legit. He said, I'll allow you access so long as you sort of hang with me. And he said, the only rule is if a door is locked, you can't force it and you can't go in. But if any door is open, you're allowed in. But he said, you are not allowed to share any of the footage. And we got some good stuff on that as well. So, unfortunately, anybody who's in WA, if I tell you it's in the Swanbourne area and it's an old lunatic asylum, you might get an idea where we're talking about. And that's just for you, MJ, because you hate secrets. Yes, I've got so much footage there, which one day I'm hoping to be able to release. So we did try.
I
We did
mean,
try.
um, just throw it out there, footage. But if you could share your findings as far as EVPs is concerned, or even a photo, as long as it doesn't show too much information of the location.
Potentially. There's that one that I played for you the other week, which is, again, it's classed as an undisclosed location. But if you look back through those photos that I posted on Facebook tonight, in the Wapper page. One of those photos is at this location. So I'm not going to say any more than that.
There you go.
I'm
You're
not going to
already
say any more
leaning
than that. But
into
if
it.
you have a look
It's all
through,
good.
I will actually find that. I'll find that EVP and I will post it. That one I will post
Yeah.
and see what people think.
I
And
love my EVP.
actually, another good one. I don't know what it is about theaters and things like that, but this one I can talk about, and that is the old Astor Theatre in Perth, well, just outside of Perth, and we were actually. I mean, this is how much secret was involved in this one. She goes, "Oh, I know, I've been there." MJ, I want you to put it in one word. What are your thoughts on that location? I hope it's similar to one that I would use. But yeah, we went to the Astor Theatre and wow. Literally, you know how you go in hush hush because they don't want people knowing about it?
Mhm.
You remember the old red signs that they used to put up on the front telling you what acts were on that night? It said, we would like to welcome Gary, such and such, such and such, such and such from the West Australian Paranormal Research right across the main doors. And we went in there and we set up and we investigated. And this was when Ghost Adventures was only in its like first or second season. I think the PSB 7 had just come out. You know, Bill Chappell was just starting some of his stuff, and we did a spirit box session in there. I have that full spirit box session where we were getting legitimate answers back, specific to the questions we were asking. Sorry, and it wasn't just like one or two questions. This was a whole conversation. You know, you can probably fluke one or two, but this thing, even to the point where we said, "Oh, can you say a certain member of the team's name?" And they said her name, and then we asked them to repeat it. Yep. And we were getting fair dinkum answers. So that was that was brilliant. We went down in the green room underneath the stage. We got to do some investigation stuff down there. Now, the bit that was really interesting for me, if you ever go into the Astor Theatre, anybody who's in Perth goes to the Astor Theatre, right? You go up the stairs to the lobby where you go into the main part. But to the left, because we went through so many different levels up there, we went up into the camera room or into the lighting room and everything. To the left goes into another little theatre, which I thought, this is a funny little theatre. What's the deal with this? You know, that's where they used to play the blue movies, the naughty movies, the porno movies.
I get it. Yeah.
And he told us that after we're all sat down.
Floors and everything.
We were all sat down and we think to ourselves, oh, God, why are these seats so sticky? You know? So we actually did a paranormal investigation in there. And you know, so we did an investigation, and the EVPs we got in there, dude, we could create our own paranormal porno just on the EVPs that we were getting. It was shocking. So if anybody gets the chance to go to the Astor Theatre, when you go up, there's the little bar bit, and there's a little door that goes up in the left. That's into the dodgy little room. Check that out. It's absolutely disturbing. And I'm not talking about horror ways, but
I just got a question.
Yeah.
It just popped into my head, you know, because my mind works weird. So let's say, you know, because it's theaters all over the states.
Yeah.
You know, it's that are essentially, you know, potentially haunted. You know, they're regular theaters, you know, or you know, you can see movies or plays.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly, that is the first time that I hear about a naughty theater being.
No. It's not a naughty theater. It's a mainstream.
Oh,
they have bands there. They have comedians there. They have movies there. But there's a little room that goes off to the side that plays the naughty movies.
Okay. Well, I mean, so I'm just going to ask the question regardless. Do you think that a location like this that is active would somehow attract a succubus,
Very possibly. Very
right?
possibly.
Right?
And I reckon there'd be plenty of people who are watching those movies who'd be wishing for a succubus to turn up. So, hey Dion, how are you? You've come in on the blue part of the movie. That sounded wrong. No, that's wrong. Oh man, it's Friday night of a long weekend here in Australia, so
For me, it's Friday morning, and I got a long work day ahead of me.
oh, that sucks nuts. We got 3 days off. It's our version of
Oh man,
like Independence Day. You know, we've got Australia Day this weekend,
uh,
so
nice, nice,
actually Sunday.
nice.
So yeah, yeah. If you ever get to go to the Astor Theatre, and if I can find the photo with all of our names on the front, I'll put that up. So that was an interesting. That was one of the best and most interactive, sensational investigations where the
I
spirit
bet it was
box,
Gary.
the spirit box was going. I'm just glad I didn't walk in with the bloody trench coat on because it would have just been nick. You know. Anyway, so come on, you've got to share a little bit now because I've been talking a lot.
No, I mean, so far, I have nothing, not even as remotely as interesting to say about a Boom Boom Theater.
Oh, you know what the scariest thing about, and I know that it's really bad, right? And that is all the row of seats are connected, so you feel any movement.
In any of the rows.
Yes. What happens underneath
Wow.
the trench coat stays underneath the well, maybe not, but you
Well,
know.
I mean, for us paranormal investigator, we're going to have a most definitely both of our hands are going to hold some sort of device,
Oh,
and all of
that's
a
not
sudden you'd be
helping.
like,
That's not
"God
helping.
dang,
They're gonna hold devices. It's not helping, man. You're just taking this into a bad place.
damn it, what's going on here? I'm by myself."
The Raffles, yeah. I used to
I'm
live
sorry.
just up the road from the Raffles, so
I'm sorry. I don't even know how many people are watching, but I apologize. I apologize. It is Friday morning. Uh, and
and
I'm drinking some Irish coffee.
oh gosh, and no, Dion. Jeremy had a little accident at work, and he took a little bit of a bang to the eye. So he could have come on tonight, but he looked like he'd just gone. Well, I would normally say 5 rounds with Mike Tyson, but after seeing that last dismal fight against that bloody Paul dude, I reckon he could have gone at least 10 or 12 before he ended up looking the way he was looking. But he looks like he's taken a couple of knocks to the head. So he will
I'm
hopefully be
sorry.
back next week. He was going to be here tonight, but you know, still thinking of you, Jeremy,
That
mate.
that if there was any question that a fight could be rigged, that's it right there.
Oh, please.
That's
Did
it
you
right
watch those videos of Tyson where he was doing his warm ups? He was going at like 100 miles an hour, and then you watch him in the actual fight, and he's taking 2 minutes to think about a punch. No. And I was
there.
watching
No,
because I've done boxing. Lynn and I had done boxing, and watching is it Logan Paul or the other one, Jake Paul? I can't remember which one it is anyway.
Jake
Yeah,
Paul.
and I watched his training, and his technique was not too bad. But then I was watching him actual box. It was very standoffish boxing. It wasn't get in there. It was the whole thing was very standoffish. So
No, I mean, there is a YouTuber that really broke down the fight, and yeah, yeah, it completely. That I mean, there were even certain moments where it looked like they were communicating between each other
yeah.
for certain things. So it's anyway, it's a shame. It's a shame.
Look at that, MJ's last comment. Uh, Mine sites, we are in the processes of trying to arrange access to one out in the golf fields, but we'll let you know when that comes off. but it hasn't as yet. So no. So what does anybody else want to talk about? I mean, this is like I said, we've come in here with absolutely no topic at all. But okay, let's jump onto conspiracies and things like that. Did you see what Boom Boom Trump signed off? Well, I think it was today anyway. He signed an executive order declassifying all the JFK and Martin Luther King files.
Yeah, I think I saw something like that on YouTube. I've been more invested in all of the immigration stuff. I've been seeing videos. There's a video going viral on TikTok, literally on the corner of where I used to work in New York,
Mm.
and I believe I have spoken about this to you guys. How I've been having issues trying to do my job because the whole sidewalk would be bombarded with illegal street sellers. And yeah, I saw a video going viral of that same street, and there was a huge cleanup going up. I mean, I for one, after experiencing what I experienced in New York, I see that things are going to start getting better.
Anyway, I'm not going to do any more talking about Trump other than his executive, because you know I can't stand the guy. And I did honestly like the fact that he'd signed away to release or declassify all the information on JFK and Martin Luther King. But to me, my thing is, okay, if it all gets declassified, how much of it has been redacted? It'll be just pages of black. You know what I mean? There's not going to be a lot there because,
Yeah.
well, like I said, I've heard different things, and I'm hoping that's the next step towards releasing and declassifying all the files on Majestic 12 and the UFO and Blue Book and all that sort of stuff.
Well, I mean, after our episode of predictions and aliens,
It might not be. It might not be. A thing. Cloudbreak. I've heard about Cloudbreak. Yeah, Cloudbreak is supposed to be haunted. I think one of my team members actually did some work up there, and he actually commented about that.
Cloudbreak.
It's a mining operation.
Mining. Ooh.
Yeah.
You know what? That's actually, I've been to theaters, I've been to abandoned psychiatric centers, I've been to private homes, I've been to prisons, I've been to so many places, but I haven't yet popped my cherry in a mining.
That just sounds so wrong. Popping your cherry in mining. Oh, I've investigated
This is
some.
the first and last time I'm drinking Irish coffee for a while.
No, we. Oh, how do I put this? We have investigated some places that are interesting, but I can't go into them. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I can't talk about those because there's still things happening. Put it that way. But okay. Yeah,
I mean, just you just completely, you basically looked into and just kind of, I can't get into it.
Yes. How good is that?
Like, damn. Jeez.
So hang on, I'm just doing a couple little bit. There we go. Bit of housekeeping there, so we're good. But yeah, I'm trying to, for the West Australian Paranormal Researchers, get some really kick-ass locations to investigate this year, and also to run some public hunts. But like I said, MJ, please don't forget to message me and give me those bits of information, because I will reach out to that guy and see if we can't set something up. And obviously, because you brought the idea to us, you'll be in on the first one for sure, and see where we go from there. But yeah, I don't. We've been going for 34 minutes. That's not bad considering we had no idea what we were going to talk about. And
I mean, geez, we already pretty much hit a lot of different topics.
Well, you know what our shows are like. We just go from one thing to another thing, but we're not going to talk about Golden Boy anymore. Not tonight, anyway. Uh, the Vatican.
Oh man.
How about the Vatican? The Vatican secrets.
I just were you able to see that clip of the Pope opening the doors to Satan's chambers?
Yeah. What kind of message is that supposed to? He preached that it was some kind of hope thing because I know one of them was in a prison or something like that. And to me, if the Pope is opening a locked door in a prison, that's sending a completely wrong message. There you go. Run free, my children. Rape, pillage, and all the rest.
I mean, honestly, I didn't really look into detail with in this, of that whole instance, but if he's open, for the first time in I don't know how many years, and it's, whatever it is, they have some pretty good technology because the doors open by themselves.
Mm.
So, it's either somebody's already in there opening the doors for
Well,
the
there's a
Pope.
lot of people locked up, but you look at the symbolism of it, right? He's opening a locked door in a prison, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Stay with me. Focus.
No, 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 I got you. I got you. I got you.
And the symbology of opening that is freedom. All the bad souls inside are being set free, right? What else does that sound like to you?
Sounds like
What else is a prison that is run by a red man, ex angel? You said yourself opened hell's doors,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's opening the gates to hell basically and letting everything go and run free. That's another
It
symbol.
also
That's another symbolism that ties into the predictions thing that we did the other week, where they talk about
yes, it does.
evil is going to come to earth. Are we in the end times? Has the Antichrist arisen? I said we weren't going to talk about Trump anymore, so we'll change that subject.
He's doing good by me. Sorry.
that's
Sorry.
that's
So far,
fine.
so good.
That's fine. That's fine.
But
But
it does also sound like a plot to the first Ghostbusters. I mean, if you really notice the chamber to which they had all of the spirits in, it was a red
Gozer.
chamber. The doors open, everything pops up, and it runs wild in New York. So yeah, yeah, there's a lot of symbolic messages through there too.
it is, and based, like I said, based on a lot of this, a lot of the predictions and everything like that that we talked about, it just adds to it. It doesn't help. It doesn't help one bit. And every time I watch your shows, you leave me with so much more to think of. Hey, what's
I
going on
just
in
read
my
that right
head?
now.
This is what happens in my head all the time. So that's why I don't sleep much because yeah, terrible.
I mean, that's what we do. That's what we
Yes,
do.
that's it.
We
We've got no control over where we're bloody going with
we're
this lot.
unhinged.
Mm. Actually, let's take some more topics, and we will talk about Skywatch nights. We held a Skywatch night last weekend, right? You may have seen my post on the WAPR page about a bit of a rant when I actually made comment on a Perth-based UFO page, and all they said was it's Starlink. Maybe not with that accent, but it's Starlink. No, we had Starlink trackers going, so we knew, and we could see the Starlink. We could see the whole. It wasn't the train, but we could see them 1, 2, 3, all in a straight line, same trajectory. We saw Starlink, right? No, it wasn't Starlink flaring, which everybody talks about. We saw many other satellites. We had satellite trackers. We had planetary trackers, the sky trackers. We had it all going. And this was from a couple of the guys that were actually out with us, that they were keen on it and they were doing all that as well. And then we started seeing some very mysterious lights. Now, I haven't put them up on the public page yet, but in the private page, they have seen some of them. But what happened was this guy in a similar sort of area to where we did this Skywatch night. He was seeing lights and stuff, and he was getting ripped up by these guys. And I turned around and I just said what I had to say, and it wasn't anything mean. All I said was, we've I've been investigating. What started me out in my paranormal field was a sighting. Wasn't a sighting. It was a flying saucer. It was not unidentified. It was a flying saucer at a very close quarters. You know, less than 50 meters away. I saw it, the full disc, everything, the lights underneath it, and that made the news the next night. So that's what started me on this whole thing. So I was a child at the time, and of course, when you first start out, you're not as serious as you are when you become an adult. So while I was researching it and going to libraries and things like that, which is very weird for a kid of that age, it eventually got more serious and more serious. And then they turned around and he started belittling and getting very condescending in some of his comments. And I just said, look, I said, I'm not going to get into this. I said, I've been investigating these for over 45 years. I said, I know what a satellite is. I said, I've got all the info. I know what Starlink is. And then some other guy comes in at this point and goes, for FFS, you know, for first sake, it's Starlink. So my response to him was, okay, so you're magnanimous one. You, with all of your intelligence, can tell me it is 100% Starlink or Starlink flaring. I said, when one, you haven't seen a photo. Two, you haven't seen a video. Three, you haven't heard any more than the little bits that I've had to say. Four, you don't know what my experience is with all of this. And yeah, obviously there's no experts. But people who have more experience because they've been doing it for a longer time know more about it. I said, so you can definitively 100% without seeing something or hearing something say it's Starlink. I said, that's all I needed to know about this group. Then I hit the leave group button. Because
Yeah, for sure. I
you can't
mean,
100% say anything if you haven't even seen it. You know?
that to me sounds like you basically dodged the bullet, and you being in that chat group, you're giving them more light to shine. So
Oh,
by
I'm gone.
removing yourself from there, because it seems like they don't know what the F they're talking about.
No.
You're absolutely right. How are you going to assume that it's Starlink or even a satellite when you didn't even show them pictures or a
That's
video
what
of
I'm
it?
saying. That's my
Like,
thing. If I was to show them a photo, then you've got something to work a hypothesis off. But the fact that they haven't seen anything and they can still say with 100% certainty that it was just Starlink. No. Have you got shares in Starlink? Maybe. Are you Elon
hater.
Musk's best friend? No, because that belongs to a certain other person. You know, no, it's just crap. It's just crap. And I don't have any time or any respect for people that pull that shit because it wasn't just me. There was a lot of other people who were asking very genuine questions. And some of them sounded like they were a little bit concerned about what they were seeing, which doesn't work with me because obviously I love this stuff. But some people were concerned about some of the stuff they were seeing, and they were asking genuine questions, and they were getting belittled and put down. And that is not what you want to do in a group because that is the wrong message to send anybody.
Yeah. Hopefully, with that experience, everybody who's genuinely interested in UFOs get the hell out of there, because that's not a place for a community to join. Nope.
What's this? Do you think there's more activity, more watches? Sorry if I'm a bit behind in the chat. I can't read and talk at the same time. I'm a man. I can only do one thing at a time. And breathing is one of them. So that really does restrict my ability to stay on do anything. Why are more people? Why is more? Yes, more activity is. I do believe we are reaching that point now where people are sick of all the crap and they've got to acknowledge the fact that we are not alone in the universe. Far from it. And yes, there will be some that are visiting, and a lot of people, out of curiosity, will join some of these groups and go out and have a look. I mean, you could have come along with us the other night. You know, we'll be doing another Skywatch next month, towards the end of next month, and it'll be the same sort of thing. And we welcome as many people as we want. It's a safe environment. You can talk with each other and bounce ideas and have giggles and laughs. And I think Dion stood there; they had a good laugh at it. And you can't just sit there and be bored shitless. I mean, some people, yes, we do. I mean, we didn't really do any CE5 stuff last week, but we have done some in the past, and that's for a certain type of people. A lot of people aren't into the meditation type stuff. They're just looking up at the stars. So we've got to do something that caters for everybody. If we get enough people who are keen on the CE5, I'll get the feel for it, and then we will go into some CE5 protocols and things like that. But yeah, Skywatch, I think there's a lot more people out there now accepting the fact that it is possible. I think there's a lot more people out there now who are wanting actual answers, because this curiosity has led them through the internet rabbit holes and through Roswell, MJ5, you know, the MJ12, sorry, not MJ5. I don't know which one was the MJ5. No. MJ12, Majestic 12, the, you know, Operation Blue Book, all of that stuff. And, yeah.
Just in case, my apologies. But what's going on, Dion? I hope everyone is doing good.
That was a bit late. He's been there for like...
No, shh.
I did actually put a thing up in the private group and asked because we knew Jeremy wasn't going to be coming in tonight, if anybody else wanted to jump in that third screen, but nobody put their hand up. So I am going to do some tests in the next week or two and see if I can start bringing people in via audio again. I don't know if it'll work, but we might be able to try that.
Hey, phone calls. That'd be dope.
Well, we used to do them, but my Rodecaster did some kind of an update and I haven't been able to suss it out since. So I think I have a workaround for it, so we will try that.
Awesome. We're doing good,
cool.
Dion. We're doing good out here.
Yeah.
It's funny, though, because here in Florida, you know, it's winter here in the States. So, you know, when I was in New York during this time, well, actually, my son is in New York right now, and he's like, it's freezing. So right now in New York, it's like, I don't know, sometimes it goes down to single digits. And then, you know, I think right now it's like 15 to 20 degrees.
And that's Fahrenheit.
And yeah. And then over here, it's, you know, it's, I think the lowest, it's like 40. I'm still walking around with short sleeves and everything while everybody is wearing these massive North Pole igloo. I'm like, oh man, this is great.
Well, we've got in, like I said, in your language. Well, it's been hitting close to 40, and I think actually it went over 40 where I work this week. So that I think my car said it was 43 degrees, 44 degrees, something like that, which is about 112 to 114 degrees in your talk. So yeah, it's been, and tonight it's really muggy, really humid, and we actually just had some rain, which did cool things down a bit, and then we had some lightning, and I thought, oh, here we go, we're not going to be able to record tonight because we're going to lose power, but touch wood.
Really?
Yeah. So we're all good at the moment. Oh.
Well, I could honestly say that when you guys told me that a good time to visit would be like around May, right? Because it's like in between. I mean, I don't know how I feel going to a place that's like 120 degrees outside. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, I think if you come here around May, April time, it will be sensational. You will get a nice little tan and you will enjoy it. You get to go for a swim with the sharks. It'll be fantastic.
Are you right?
You threw me so off with that voice right now, and
I'm sorry. I didn't mean
oh
to
my
do
god,
that.
that is hilarious.
Oh,
That is
well.
hilarious.
I don't get to. No, that sounded wrong. I was going to say I don't get to play with my buttons as much as I used to. Oh.
Hey, the theater talk is over, man. You should have said that earlier.
Yes.
Oh man.
Well, I don't like talking much about Musk because I don't like Teslas. We'll stop that there. Had a guy in front of me driving a Tesla today. He was a douche. Anyway, yeah, NASA. Well, there are talks about things happening on the moon, but also the promise has been made to put an American flag on Mars. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Yeah.
If he does all the right things, I'll be the first one to take everything back. But I just don't see it, and we're not going to go there. But you know, I don't live over there, so I don't see what's happening. So I can't really comment, and you would know better than me what's going on. But
all I can say is that the Cybertrucks are hideous.
oh
in my opinion.
god, yeah, it
Jesus.
looks
like The Simpsons did it again.
they did.
They did, right?
In fact,
Didn't
I think Simpsons actually look nicer than the bloody Cybertruck. What the hell is with that?
Oh my god. Jeez. I'm sorry, but them things are hideous. And then like, it's just, like if you was to break it down into details on how inconvenient it really is, you know, I see that if anybody was to drive a Cybertruck, it's just to, I don't know, prove a point.
Well,
I
that
could
they're a douche
or something.
No, they're horrible. No. But yeah, all right. Man, how many things have we covered so far tonight? We've done a few. All right, in the chat, come on, somebody come up with something other than Elon Musk or the other one, the glowing in the dark man. Actually, before we drop that, right? Before we drop, we don't talk about Trump anymore. I've got one more thing that I've got to say, right? Now, this is an observation from the last 4 years that when he was in office before, and then all the crap since then, and now that he's back. Would you agree with me when I say he is the only politician, or he's the only person on TV in history whose hair is continually in soft focus?
I mean,
no matter what photo, it's always you can't. It's always been. It's like it's been digitally blurred out of every photo and everything.
All I'm gonna say is this:
yes,
for a billionaire, he could do better with his hair. But I've always said that as soon as I start seeing that my hair is going a little out of my likings, I'm gonna look like you. I'm gonna go bold with the whole beard. I mean, because that's a good look. That's a good look. I love it. And in a couple of years from now, Gary, once it starts coming in fully white, we're gonna.
Oh, you're talking about you now. Okay, I accept that. I was gonna say fully white because I still have a bit of color.
Oh, sorry.
See, this is how it starts, right? This is how it starts. I've got photos when my beard was all dark. Then I got these two little silver stripes down here. I freaking love that. I call them
that was cool.
I call them my Captain Nemo stripes. Which
Captain Nemo?
Yeah, that's what I thought at the time. And then, of course, when Doctor Strange came out, he had them as well. So that's the modern day version of it. But what happens is they get wider and wider, and then they just merge into a big grey clump at the front.
It's starting over here. So hopefully both sides will just connect. Oh, man. Jeez.
No, I'm not going to hear Mike Mike Tyson talk about Tesla. Yeah, Tesla.
That is. I just have to say this about Tyson. For somebody that is feared the way people see him, I mean, because this guy's a dangerous dude.
He was. Did you not see the last fight?
Man, God played a huge, nasty joke on him.
With the foot. I know. What we're talking
God
about,
was like, you know what? You're gonna be the baddest man on the planet, but with this voice.
I remember using it when I was doing my apprenticeship. Right, when I was doing my apprenticeship, we used to have a food truck. I don't know if you get them over in America. A food truck that comes around, parks out the front, and you like your coffee van, you can buy your coffee or you can buy your snacks and things like that. So every morning you go out and you buy your toasties and you
I'm sorry, man. MJ, man, you got me. Tesla.
Yeah.
Tesla.
Don't worry, he's in America. He's about 10 hours behind us. Yeah, the food truck will come and you get your little toasties and your little flavoured milks and things like that. And it's usually always a girl wearing tight shorts or whatever. And there's this one day, she was there, but she was obviously training up this new guy. And he's like big and butch and everything. And I go, all right, not going to mess with this dude, And then I got me toasty and my spearmint milk. And I go, there you go. And he does the little thing on the cake and he goes, it'll be $4.50. I'm like, what? I can't. Sorry, it'd be more like,
it'll be $4.50.
it was not what I expected.
Oh my God.
My problem is I didn't have the same self-control that I have now. And I just like that. And I actually blew a bit like your situation with Barry Fitzgerald. I actually blew snot rockets. There was a pressure build up and it was all out of balance and it did what it did. And yeah, that was creepy on all.
Yeah.
Yes, nasty. Yeah, it was. I'm not even going to. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. Not about that story that I told you about last week.
Man,
on the train.
you know
Remember
what?
the
Bringing
train?
up
On
the
the train?
whole Barry. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. You've forgotten. That's all good. We're not going to mention that anymore.
No.
Yeah.
I am actually curious since we were talking with the Soul Sisters last night, or for you this morning. I'm actually kind of curious if they were able to see that episode with our interview with Barry Fitzgerald.
I don't know.
Because yeah, that was pretty. I mean, thankfully he didn't notice. I mean, he's gonna know now if he sees that episode.
Well, he is one of the guys that is gonna come back on the show. So we will have back. He's been doing all sorts. He actually put a post out today, something about a generational storm's about to hit the UK. So I'm not sure what the details are about that, but I've got a lot of family in the UK, so I hope everybody's all right. And well, the UK, all of Ireland and then Northern Ireland and England, Scotland, and Wales. But so he's coming on, and then, well, the guy that I was talking about earlier, Graham Phillips, has said yes, he wants to come back on, and we're going to have. Oh man, I don't know how long we are going to have to record for. I'm not going to set a limit on this one because this guy is so interesting. In fact, just to give you an idea how interesting this fella is, the character Indiana Jones was partially based on Graham Phillips and his adventures seeking certain artifacts. And
that's going to be amazing. Jeez.
He has got so many stories about his research. I mean, he spent a lot of time in the Middle East over the last few years. He believes he's found the staff of Moses, the real staff of, part the sea and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the epic story. One of the only stories in the Bible that I actually like to read because it's amazing.
Well, he says he's worked that out. There's, in fact, he shared a video the other day on his Facebook channel, which is a show that a proper mainstream show, sort of stuff that we like. I can't remember what it's called, Relic Hunters or something like that. And they started this investigation, and I was locked in. I was totally locked into this video. Go to Graham Phillips' channel, everybody, and look up some of his videos. And this guy, he is so interesting. I can't put it any other way than he is absolutely so interesting. Well, anyway, he's going to come on the show, so I'm not setting a time limit on that. So that could be the only Shadow Files show that goes for 5 hours. And oh, here you go. MJ's gone. Who is Jacqueline Nunez? She is the lady that owns the Conjuring House in Rhode Island, and
Yeah,
she's off her chops at the moment.
I was just actually I was gonna reply to Dion, but I wanted you to finish the Ryan Phillips. But yeah, the Conjuring House. As far as I'm concerned, things has died off over here because there was a lot of controversy. I'm not sure if lawyers or the legals, all this stuff is jumping in because there was a lot of people banging on this house right now. But yes, she is the owner, and apparently there is a lot of. She is an unusual lady, to say the least. But things has quiet down over here. I just think that the Conjuring House, from what I've heard, I've passed by, I've drove by it, but I've never been on the property. I've never gone into the house. I'm actually not really interested after hearing everything about this lady. But I think it's just
All right, I've got a question for you, and let me know
go
what you
for it.
think about this. Right, so while we're talking about Jacqueline Nunez and all the stuff going on at the Conjuring House, do you think it could be the demonic presence or whatever presence is there causing this shit? Because the last time it fired up was obviously what created the Conjuring story with the family and everything. And now it's working out that this lady's making money at it. That's her joy. So let's attack that. Do you reckon that's another way? I know it's grasping at straws and things like that, but what's not to say that demonic infestations and things like that change to suit the personality of the person they are targeting? And if you're all about making money, well, that's where you're going to knock them down. If you're all about family, that's where you go after the family. What's your
You know
thoughts?
what? My thought is that question would be best answered by someone that's been there, and hopefully we can have them soon on a live, the Soul Sisters.
Yep.
But honestly, I have been itching on a question to put out in social media because I've heard multiple people comment on this. And then, in a way, I'm not even sure, since this is a live and we only have like 4 people watching. So I'm going to say it. And the only reason why I'm cautious is because I know people that owns paranormal locations that might, fall into this category. Okay. So there is a story, and this person, brought it out. So an paranormal investigator walked into a house and, doing his thing. He got messages that whatever was there was saying, "Help me, help me." All right. So as common sense and as a rational human being, you want to help.
Yep.
I myself, I feel like I helped an entity back in Kings Park Psychiatric Center. So
Yep.
it feels good to help an entity move on. So this person helped this entity move on, but he got in trouble by the owners of the house. So would you say that paranormal location owners who are profiting off of these entities, because that's what they are doing, do you think that is like borderline almost, keeping them hostage?
Potentially. Potentially.
Man, I mean, that kind,
But
it's kind
to
of.
to keep something like that hostage, what kind of abilities or rituals would have been done to actually hold something like that captive to do your bidding and stuff?
I mean, I am a believer that a lot of these entities, um, let's just say like Beetlejuice, right?
Yes.
There's a dramatic experience, you die in the house, or even if, let's say, a place that you love, that's where you're going to be,
Hmm.
right? Where you're most connected. So I believe in that theory. I could be completely wrong. Obviously, it's just a theory. We're not dead yet, but but yeah, yeah. I think they're there, and sometimes entities just need guidance to move on. I mean, obviously, the situation doesn't fall in every aspect of all entities, but yeah, I mean, because if you conjure up something to keep hostage, wouldn't that be that almost like a guard, like a prison guard?
Have you ever watched an episode of Supernatural? They come across that quite often where somebody will hold some sort of a spirit captive to do their bidding, but it always goes bad. And if it's something as powerful as what it's led to believe there, if that thing breaks free, all kinds of crap's gonna be dropped on Nunez. She's not gonna know what hit her when that happens, if
Mm,
that is the case.
I mean, apparently, from everything I've heard and read, um, she's a bit estranged. I think that would be a good word.
Yeah.
But it is she being manipulated? That is something, because a lot of people, I've actually heard this, that it's yes, visiting the house, it's an
Mm,
experience, but the real fun for us paranormal investigators is outside on the property.
yeah. Well, that's what the Soul Sisters were saying. They're saying everybody focuses on the house itself, but the grounds have a lot of other stuff going on as well. So, mm.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely, I read a comment somewhere. I'm not sure from who it was, that she's offering. I think it was Dion, that she's offering overnight stays at tents. Yeah, I mean, she got to do something, because a lot of people is actually, like boycotting the Conjuring House.
Well, it's
So
ridiculous. I mean, I actually looked up the costing on that back when a certain Pineapple was talking about they were going to go there and he was going to do a live feed to our podcast. I don't know if you remember
Mhm.
that. That never happened. But back then, I looked into it, and for overnight, and this is from, I think it was 6 o'clock at night until 9 o'clock the next morning, 10 o'clock the next morning, whatever it was. It's $1,100 per person, right?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
ridiculous.
I haven't
Gee.
finished yet. I haven't finished yet. If you take camera equipment or you're doing a podcast or a YouTube stream from the house, it's $1,400 for the night, and you have to get the footage signed off by her before you can release it on your own channel.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's not the only house that does that.
People were still doing it at that cost. Oh,
Yeah, I
bloody
mean,
hell.
because if you think about it, like if you get, like if you have your own paranormal group, consisted of, like, 5 to 10 people, each pays its dues, and then it'll come out, like, out of my pocket, it'll probably come out to like 100, 200, depending on how many people, which is fine. But let's just say you want to have your own personal experience, you got to have bank to go to these places.
We have somebody else in the chat who's brought up Bigfoot and the fact that they believe he is some sort of a forest fairy based on
Ooh.
appearing around orbs and things and UFOs. Oh, have you
Well,
hit something that we love when we talk about this? Because last week we had Ray Doherty on, who is an Australian Yowie researcher. You want to hear some of his theories, and there's more than just the big hairy man. There are a lot of other things, and what you're saying about orbs and UFOs is very true. In fact, not all forest they're not all forest based as well. It's a lot of military bases in the United States, which are often like Groom Lake and things like that, where they're in the middle of a desert type scenario, see Bigfoot type creatures there as well, and they tie into UFOs and strange lights in the sky. So if you describe an orb, well, it's a light in the sky. So yeah, you're onto something there. And one of the things that we discussed many times is that, are they possibly an interdimensional? Oh, there you go. Just exactly what was said there. Where they can use portals and pop in and out of our reality, because that's why they can play the best game of hide and seek the world has ever seen.
Hey.
Love your
there's
thinking.
also a
Love your
theory
thinking.
that they could be camouflaging themselves also.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, I would recommend that.
Hang on a sec.
You guys
What's
watch
this? Dion
both
said
episodes.
Bigfoot is a resident of the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is time, so that can't be it. Fourth dimension is time. The fifth dimension, which is where Buckaroo Banzai went, that's where Bigfoot could be.
Buckaroo
But
Banzai.
Oh, that's going back. Buckaroo Banzai.
That brings me back to the Ready Player One. But yes, for the Bigfoot question, definitely check out the Ray Doherty, because he's been on here twice, and both episodes are amazing.
We have a few. Sure. We have a few shows on the Bigfoot, and we have at least 2 on the Australian Yowie. And it is very interesting that you talk about them being part of the Fae, because I grew up in the northeast of England before moving to Australia as a young teenager, and definitely the Fae is strong. And even when we were talking with Barry Fitzgerald, who's in Ireland, the Fae over there, I think it is very much underrated and very low key talked about, and I think there should be more to it, because of they say the Fae, the fairies, things like that, makes it go into a kid's world. But as Barry Fitzgerald said, he goes, they're not little will-o'-the-wisp. He said they're as big as you or I. So yes, I like your thinking. I do like your thinking a lot. Everything's gone quiet. It's because everybody's reading the chat.
I mean, yeah. But what about have we? Oh man,
they're just talking about how they loved the chat with Ray last week. You wait until I've got this organized and we have Ray Doherty and Joe Frankie in the same episode. I've actually built a specific screen up just for that, because I think it's going to be a case of, as soon as they start talking to each other, we're just going to sit back and listen. It's like everybody else. It's like a game of tennis, back and forwards between the two of them.
I mean, I could pretty much just take the whole mic off, and I just sit back with a bag of popcorns and just.
That sounds like a bloody good idea, that. Yes, there are a lot of different Fae. In fact, a lot of people reckon that the succubus and the incubus fall into the Fae category rather than the paranormal, and that's interesting. It's an interesting one, that.
Yeah, I mean, Barry Fitzgerald really went into details with the whole Fae stuff like this. So definitely catch that one also.
Well, where I grew up, like I said, in the northeast of England, and there's a very famous case called the case of the Cottingley Fairies. That was probably less than half an hour's drive from where I used to live. And literally, it was investigated by none other than Arthur Conan Doyle. the man who wrote Sherlock Holmes. And the photos were taken on the old plate slides, which couldn't be faked back in the day. Yes, there are stories that say the actual little fairies themselves were fake, but if you look at the photos, while they look too good to be true, and a lot of people will lead to it straight being fake, there's enough in them that go, yeah, there's movement to them, which is interesting because they were shot back a long time ago. What are you giggling at? What have I missed?
The young goes, "Are leprechauns real?" I'm like,
Ask Barry Fitzgerald. Watch our Barry Fitzgerald episode. Seriously, Barry Fitzgerald said he's seen them. Remember? Personally seen them.
"Oh yeah, yeah, sure,
So,
for sure."
and he said that
Man.
that's what led to the comment. They're not the little will-o'-the-wisps, because I can't do an Irish accent on demand. But will-o'-the-wisp, no, I can't do it. Anyway, yeah, he said he's seen one for real. So I can't say one way or the other because I haven't seen any. Yes, the Fae are definitely embedded in a lot of different traditions, and the problem is a lot of things get twisted and turned, and then suddenly they're not Fae anymore. But the roots, a lot of the roots go back to the Fae. The Fae is the traditional other world. You know, this is where you go into changelings and all of that kind of thing. You know, it is seriously. If you just look, see, they got me started on the Fae now. This is bad, but
Go for it.
when you talk about fairies, everybody thinks about the little Tinkerbells and things like that. Fairies, there are several different types of fairies. Now you look into the changelings, right? The changelings are famous for coming into our world and swapping one of their babies out and stealing one of our babies and taking them back to their world. And that's where these kids grow up, and they look the same as their parents' kid, but they start acting weird. And I don't know if that's where the basis of that film, The Omen, about Jason, you know, the son of the devil and stuff like that, because is that tied into it? But the Fae is not all nice and everything that you think. It's not all little, you know, hundreds and thousands and little sprinkles and, you know, fairy dust and stuff like that. There's a very dark history to the Fae. Yes, there are light bits, but the actual basis is quite dark, and it's really intriguing if you start looking into it. And there's a lot of bits that will really mess with your head. So, I love this sort of stuff as well. My head is so much filled with so much crap that I actually bamboozle everybody at work. So you can't work near me without getting barraged with all this weirdness. So.
Oh no, for us it's not weird. That's for sure.
No, I love it. I love it. You're in the right place if you like that sort of stuff.
Yes, that is definitely the right word to the right phrase to say. But what others do you guys know? Any other phase out there? Because I believe in one of my investigations, actually, out in Kings Park, we came across a. Have you guys ever heard of dryads?
Yeah.
So there, yes, I believe I posted a. We had a communication session going on between a voice recorder and a spirit box, and we basically um, confirmed that there was actually a dryad on location, which is a woodland, uh, a woods nature spirit, which is also considered a form of fae.
See, this is it's a hard one because you're actually crossing borders, I guess, with it because the Fae are notorious, but in modern culture, everything gets twisted into a specific channel, if you know what I mean. Like cryptozoology is your Bigfoot and, you know, your Loch Ness monster, but break it back and like what's been said in the chat, you know, you've got your trickster entities, you've got your Bigfoot type creatures. They're all part of the, well, not so much the trickster type things, but like Bigfoot and all those, they're all part of the natural world. And the natural world is to do with the Fae. It's just a matter of modern civilization pigeonholing everything. So it waters down the Fae culture a lot. But if you, like I said, go look through some of the, and I'm not talking about reading these little artsy fartsy little pretty little pictures of fairies floating around and dancing off leaves and things like that. I'm talking about get right down into the nuts. In fact, there's a good TV show on oh god, I can't even remember the name of it now. It's on Amazon Prime and it's got what's his face from the Lord of the Rings, Orlando Bloom in it, and that ties into the Fae in a big way, and that shows it probably more realistically than a lot of these fairy books and stuff like that. And yeah, when you start looking into Aboriginal folklore, that is based on indigenous Australians and what is local to here. But what's not to say that they're still not part of the Fae community, but just a localized one here. You know, I don't think the Skinwalker would fall into a Fae category. That's more Native American, sort of thing. And where I'm going with that is, you could say the same thing about Aboriginal folklore because that's the Aboriginal folklore thing, but no, it's different because they talk about, well, they've got a lot of different things. The Bunyip, they've got the you know, the Yowie, the Woggle, the Rainbow. There's so many, and they're all sort of tied into nature, whereas the Skinwalker is much more a witch doctor kind of shaman type thing, which is a different thing for me.
Well, I mean, wouldn't a skinwalker be something that the Native Americans conjured to curse a land?
That's what I'm saying. It's conjured, whereas the Fae aren't conjured. The Fae are the Fae. You know, it's. I guess. What do I
We're
miss?
I mean, this is why the paranormal is so freaking interesting, because it's a field with so many freaking branches.
Oh, so many, so many.
Yeah. And then, like, if you really dig into it, there are just certain things that are actually connected one way or another.
Hang on, I am going to look up. What have I done? I hope I haven't stuffed up the page because my computer screen has just gone nuts. I think I better not touch anything else now because I don't know what's going on. I was Orlando Bloom. Oh, it's not even typing. There we go.
Yes, MJ. Dryads. It's a, you know what? Just to, I know I posted a while back. I think
Carnival Row.
I'm gonna need to refinish. Huh?
Carnival Row is the name of that TV show. It's all about the Fae.
Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to revisit and possibly repost that on TikTok. I'm pretty sure it's on TikTok. It's a whole clip of my of our investigation session, and let's just say that it was confirmed that there was a dryad there, and my co-partner was, trying to communicate, and then through the EVP we were getting direct communication, and then there was this one particular part where he goes like, what is the name of the dryad? And my god, I the spirit box actually said the name.
Mm.
It was an amazing session. If I come across it, I will repost it for you guys. What is
No, this has gone seriously. When we started this episode tonight, it was just going to be, let's just do a live stream because we haven't done one this year and we haven't done one for a while. So as you can see, if you went back to the start, if you go back to the start later on, you'll find it. I couldn't even remember how to get the chat going. It'd been that long since I've done it. So we've got it all sussed. We're back on track, and now the track has just completely disappeared with all of these different things coming up. And the best part about this is most of this is coming from you guys in the chat. And that's what we love. We love it when you guys bring stuff up and we just got no idea where the show's going to go. That's an adventure. That's a journey.
This is socializing. This is communicating from across the world at its best.
Yeah. So, like I said, we'll have hopefully have Jeremy back next week, and we'll actually try and do another. We want to start doing live streams a bit more regularly where we can interact. And like I said, I am going to really put some effort into getting the phone lines working again so that you guys can come and actually chat with us, because that's even better. And we've tried it.
What else we should try and work on? While on live, that we could post, share things. That would be interesting if we could find a way to do that.
Share things. What are we referring to?
Come on, man! That porno theater was a long way behind.
I was going to bring that up and going to say, oh, what's he going to do? But you beat me to it. That's not fair, man. You just took all the wind out of my sails with that one.
Sorry. I wouldn't be surprised if they just cut the chat right here.
MJ's gone the name, but I'm not sure what we are referring to. The name of what? Name is very important.
The name.
But I don't know the name.
Oh, the Dryad? The Dryad?
Oh, the Dryad's name.
This is, I mean, that's what I'm assuming. Oh, man.
Oh, look at that. We can point at people's... I don't know if it's working on the actual finished one, but I can actually see my pointer going around the chat. There you go. It's popping up. Anyway, sorry. Little things amuse little minds. I'm following the finger.
Oh, my God. Man, I'm gonna have to go back. Excuse me.
But it's funny enough, while we're talking about Barry Fitzgerald, oh, my arm's started to bleed again. Go back to Barry Fitzgerald.
I saw a picture of that.
Yeah, go back to Barry Fitzgerald, and he was talking about the leprechauns. But he goes into as well when he went to a couple of those castles and place, and he got into communication with some of these things that were talking about vampires and stuff. Remember that?
Oh, for sure.
That can tie into the Fae as well. The Fae is a much bigger world than, well, probably much bigger world than what we live in. So, I don't know if you can see my arm start to bleed.
Jeez. But I was going to ask, what happened there, though?
I got no idea. We went out for dinner, and I must have bumped into something, and it was pouring down my arm and down my hand, and 2 hours later it was still bleeding, so I had to put a pressure bandage on it to stop it, and I've obviously knocked it again now because it started again. Huh? I don't know. Yes, MJ wants to know the Dryad's name.
Yes, I am finding that out right now. Actually, I am going to post the link
to the video.
To the to the TikTok. I'm not sure that's actually going to work. I didn't realize how many freaking numbers is.
Put it in there and see what happens. But yeah, anyway, I think we're going to call this one soon because we've been going for an hour and a half. Do you want to let us know in the chat if you like this kind of thing where you can all get involved? Because we will certainly do a lot more of it if you guys are interested and keen in that kind of thing. New tattoo bleeding. Yes, all free red ink. There it goes. It's really starting to take off now.
Hey, Gary, quick question. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
And everything is good on my end? Like, you guys see me?
Well, I don't know if anything's good, but I can still see you and hear you.
No, because on my end, Discord just kind of went blank on me.
Oh, no. You're all good. You're all good here.
But the name of the dryad, she's it's I'm gonna say it's called Arcadia.
That's
and Arcadia came out through the spirit box, which is very freaking specific due to the whole situation that we were dealing with at the time.
That's it. Anyway, we're going to call it now because I've got to go clean my arm up before I drown in blood. 1:30 a.m. here. Okay, so you're over east. So hang on. 7:30. Hang on, whereabouts are you in Australia? Queensland's not that far ahead, are you? I thought Queensland was 2 hours ahead. But yeah, thank you everybody. I hope to see you all again real soon. And
yes,
we will do this again in a couple of weeks. Now we have WA Paranormal. We will have a ghost hunting, a public ghost hunting night soon where we will go and investigate and go in search of that kind of thing. And then towards the end of next month, we will have another Skywatch night and we will do another live stream as well. So we're going to be busy, but I'd like to thank you all.
It's going to be fun.
You guys have all been fantastic and I love it when you guys come in, and if you get involved in the chat, it makes it really go easy and it takes us in some directions that we did not see coming. So thank you for that. You know, we love you all. And if you haven't already liked and subscribed to our channel, please do so because it does help us out. We're only a tiny, tinky little channel and we want every little bit of love we can get. So until next week.
Give us a little bit more credit, man. I mean, yes, we are just starting off, but we've had some amazing guests on that are very, very well known and popular out in the field. I mean, I get joked on by Vanessa all the time because the other night Ray Doherty hit me up because he wanted help and an opinion of mine, and I'm like, I could come across and see any freaking celebrity out there, and I would, I couldn't care less. But I was like, oh my god, Ray Doherty, message me. And then Joe Frankie, by the way, I would like to. I'm gonna reach out to him because I might actually go and see him in Orlando when he comes here next in 2 weeks.
Yeah. All right. On that, we are going to go this time. We can't shut Fernando up. So.
No, I love talking.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Take it easy, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good one.